Okay, so welcome everyone. This is a webinar organized by Center of Pre-University Studies that provides Foundation in Science and Foundation in Business program for the students who are very much interested to further their studies to bachelor degree programs like Health Sciences, MBBS, DDS, Business and Engineering programs. All the lecturers involved in the foundation studies are very energetic and very capable. Speaking of health sciences, which is related to today's topic, MAHSA University has produced numerous graduates that are currently working in hospitals nationwide since it was founded in 2004 in Malaysia. So if you're interested in the program, feel free to contact us. And today, we have such great opportunity that MAHSA University provide this platform which enable us to share to a vast audience visiting the page about this webinar entitled Achieving Relaxation in a Modern Lifestyle by our honored guest, Mr. Yap Chee Khong. So Mr. Yap Chee Khong is a graduate is graduated as a Master of Clinical Psychology from Yap University, and he is registered psychologist from Singapore. And he is currently practicing at Sunway Medical Centre as a clinical psychologist with numerous years of experience. He is also a full member of the Malaysian Society of Clinical Psychology. Mr. Yap Chee Khong works with clients across the lifespans, including children, adolescents, adults, and elderly. He is experienced working with patients that may present with problems types such as depressions, anxiety, insomnia, trauma, and stress-related issues, and lifestyle adjustment issues. We have heard currently in Malaysia, especially, we have heard numerous news about people who are stressing out in modern workspace, especially during this movement control order in order to control the spread of the COVID-19. So, on the guest, Mr. Yap Chee Khong, how do we achieve relaxations in modern lifestyles? Do you have a take on this?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chiu, for your nice introduction. Okay, so to answer your question here, I'm going to give a talk here. It's all about how to achieve relaxation in this modern lifestyle. Okay, so let me open my slides. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope that you have had your lunch. Maybe going to have your tea time. Okay, so while you're enjoying this afternoon, hopefully that this talk will be beneficial to you, for you to learn new things or to remind you something important about your self-care. Okay, so our topic today is achieving relaxation in a modern lifestyle. So the talk will cover two parts. The first part is about stress, introduction to stress. So I'll go through about what is stress and the signs and symptoms of stress. Then the second part is about how to manage our stress by doing techniques for relaxation purpose. So, well, before we move on to the content of the slides, I would like you to do one exercise with me right now. Okay, so for you to be able to experience this talk fully, hopefully you will be able to allow yourself to go through each exercise, each question that I pose to you, so that you get a chance to experience and to reflect on some important questions for yourself. This is my style of giving a talk. I don't simply just talk on it. I get people to be involved in the activity together. Okay, so for those who want to experience, okay, please find your most comfortable position. Okay, make sure that you sit in your most relaxing manner. Yeah, make sure you are relaxed enough on your seat. And then close your eyes. Yeah, so if you are in your room here, if you feel safe enough to close your eyes, feel free to do so. But let's say if you feel that, oh, you're in a public, you are in a cafe, it's not nice for you to just close your eyes, you don't feel safe, that's okay. Maybe you just keep yourself focused in this exercise and imagine together with all of us here. Okay, so now I assume that you are already sitting in your most relaxing position. You are closing your eyes, or you just want to relax. Now imagine that you are in a kitchen somewhere. So just imagine, have this mental image in your mind that is a kitchen. There's a kitchen. You are in this kitchen. It's a very comfortable place. Then on the table is a basket of lemons. You reach out and select a ripe yellow lemon. You feel the weight of the lemon in your hand. You slide your fingers over the smooth, waxy skin. Keep imagining this in your mind and feel the texture in your mind. You lift the lemon to your face and breathe in that lemony smell. And then you slice the lemon open. As the bright yellow flesh is exposed, you see the juice run out. A lovely lemony citrus aroma fills the room. You cut a slice and put it in your mouth. You bite down on it. The juice runs over your tongue. Your mouth fills with the taste of lemon juice. And you have another bite again. You're feeling more juices runs over your tongue, filling your mouth. Okay. Just take a deep breath, breathing in through your nose. Hold 1, 2, and breathing out through your mouth. Now you may open your eyes. Okay. So the first question that I'm posing you all would be, what do you notice during this exercise? How do you feel? So usually people who really participate in this exercise, they feel that now their mouth have more saliva when they're going through this exercise, or they simply just listen to the script itself. Okay, so if you feel that, if you have this experience, okay, so very good. So it means that you are having stronger mind-body connection in your body system. That means whatever you are thinking, you are imagining, you are feeling, it has some more impact on your physical sensation, your physical reaction. So those having more saliva in your mouth right now, okay, that means you're having stronger mind-body connection. But those who don't have it, what does it mean? Does it mean that, well, I have no mind-body connection? No. However, that is happening in your mind, your feeling, even your behavior, it still has some effect on your physical reaction. Your body still react to it, whether you like it or not. But if you don't feel it, if you couldn't sense it, or maybe when physically the result is not that rich, it suggests that maybe the mind-body connection is a bit weaker compared to others. Okay, so the first concept that I would like to introduce you is this thing, mind-body connection. So it serves as a foundation of our talks today, stress management. Okay, so what does stress mean to you? So for this question, I think everyone have their own definition. When you hear someone saying that, oh, this is so stressful, or I'm feeling stressed, okay, do you know that the stress itself, right, means different thing to different people? My stress may not be the same stress that you're having in your mind. So first of all, to be able to manage your stress, you have to understand yourself first. Self-understanding is the most important thing for you to manage your stress. So first question, what does stress mean to you? Different people experience stress due to different reasons. For some people, it could be financial concern. They don't have enough money to pay their bills. For example, they are worried about their next meal. So all these things could be about financial stress. For some people, it could be time management issue. They don't have enough time to complete their task. They don't have enough time for self-care. They have tight schedule at work. They have too many things to do within a day. So all these are about time management. Some people, it could be about their performance, their KPI. For some people who want to hit their KPI, they feel stressed constantly. They will be doing a lot of things in order to hit the KPI, meaning their work goal, their goal. Okay. So if their work goal is too high for them, then they feel stressed. Okay. The other issue could be about interpersonal relationship. People feel stressed maybe because of friendship issue, family relationship issue, romantic relationship. All these things could contribute to stress. Others may also feel stressed about their health condition. Let's say if you're diagnosed with a health issue, maybe cancer, for example, or any other terminal illnesses, you may feel stressed as well. So what contributes to your stress is something that you need to be very clear about. Okay, so this question is for you also. If you feel stressed, you have your own definition of what stress is. And if you understand that what are the things that make you feel stressful, that is a good progress. At least you know what you are really dealing with rather than just the feeling itself. You need to be quite concrete in this sense, or else, right, it's very difficult for you to manage stress here. So from the psychological point of view, stress is just an automatic response that helps us to deal with threat or danger. For those who are familiar with this term, fight or flight reaction, I think you know already. It is an inbuilt mechanism in our brain, to be specific in the amygdala, that is in charge of our survival. When we feel that there's something dangerous or something not good happening to us already, this amygdala, the very small part, an almond shape, the kind of part in our brain will be triggered. So once it is activated, it triggers a series of responses in our body internally, and one of it is the increase of the stress hormone. Okay, so the stress hormone will further activate more reaction in our body so that we have enough energy to fight, to solve the problem, or if we know that we can't cope, we can't solve the issue, at least we have enough energy to run away, fleeing. Okay, as I mentioned just now, this is a very innate kind of mechanism in our body system here. So coming from our ancestors already have this kind of mechanism in their brain. Why? During ancient time, people need to go for hunting. So the threat or danger that they encounter most of the time would be struggling, fighting the animals, their food. So for animals that they can easily catch, that's okay. They just need to run and just catch them. So fighting. But for animals that they can't really kill, they have to make sure that they have enough energy to run away so that they can survive from the situation. Okay, so all these are inbuilt mechanisms coming from our ancestor in the ancient time. But like what I mentioned just now, in the title, we are now living in the modern society. Okay, unfortunately, this kind of mechanism is still inside our brain. We are still responding to stress, danger, threat by the same mechanism, fighting, running away, and having a surge of stress hormone in. It's very hard to adapt sometimes because the kind of stress that we are facing is totally different from the kind of stress that our ancestors are facing. Okay, so stress happens when the situation is perceived as. So remember, when it comes to stress, right, in the modern society, it may not be something that is concrete to us. It's not as if we are fighting with someone or killing an animal or dealing with a tiger. No, it's all about our perception already. Things are not that concrete anymore, tangible anymore. So it's about our perception that the situation is so dangerous, difficult, and more importantly, exceeding our coping resources, we don't have a way to deal with it. So that may contribute to stress. Okay, so I couldn't emphasize enough for this term here, perceived perception, being seenness, because a lot of time stress is about our perception. It may not be reflective of the real situation. It's about how you perceive the scenario. So that link back to what I mentioned just now, the mind-body connection. Mind is in charge of the perception. So how you perceive the situation will stimulate or trigger a series of physical reaction. This is why I want to introduce you the exercise just now. So what happens when the stress hormone is being high in our bloodstream? Okay, if you're familiar with the kind of feeling that before you go for a talk, you deliver a talk, maybe you understand what I'm talking about here. The heart rate increase, your breathing rate increase, you breathe in and out faster, you feel that your muscles are very tension. Okay, as a byproduct, your blood pressure increase as well, and many more. There are too many things that you will notice. Some people, they may notice that maybe having stomach pain, for example. All these are also considered stress response. So for you, right, you need to think back, or maybe you are going through some stress also right now, or listening to this talk. You may be able to relate to it. Yeah, all these things, all these changes in your body system, okay, happen with a stress response. We call it fight or flight reaction. Okay, so to give you more examples about how people experience stress, okay, so this slide shows you that generally people experience stress in four main categories. Okay. First one, physical. Physical, well, like what I said just now, you feel it yourself in your body. Heart palpitation, some people having gastrointestinal upset, like what I mentioned just now, maybe stomach ache. Some people even having diarrhea before going for their public speaking, for example, or going to a very important events in their life, or like wedding, I don't know, body age, okay, or pain here, there pain, or maybe even the headache. Yeah, headache is a very common symptom that people reported to me in the session. When they feel stressed, they have headache, severe headache. Okay, muscle tension is very common. Okay, people feel that the whole body is so tense they couldn't relax, especially on their shoulders. Okay, so all these are physical symptoms of stress. Okay, for some people, maybe not too much on the physical, they may be more on emotional. So they can really feel that my feeling is telling me that I am worried, I'm nervous, I am so angry, frustrated, so upset. Or for some people, they might feel unsettled, as if a lot of things that they haven't found an answer yet, they don't know how to manage yet, feeling unsettled, or feeling simply depressed, feeling so low in their mood. So all these are emotional signs of stress. Okay, other people, well, if you ask them, how are you feeling right now? Okay, they may say, I don't know, yeah, just okay. But then behaviorally, you're seeing them doing their nervous pacing, walking here and there repeatedly. Or for some people, you notice a change in their social interaction. Some people used to be very, how to say, sociable. They enjoy social life. They talk to people. They go for lunch together with their colleagues, okay, or friends. But now you notice that, hey, this person changed already. This person just keep distance from others. They seldom talk. You know, we call it social withdrawal. So there's a change here. So do take note that some people, they are introvert, for example. Okay, they're introvert. They don't really care whether they are accompanied or not. They simply enjoy. They are okay with being alone. This is not a sign of stress. This is their personality, their personal preference. We are here talking about stress that create a change of the preference. from a very sociable approach to social withdrawal here. So be clear about that. You don't simply label people with stress when you see the person enjoying solitude. Okay. Okay. Another thing about behavior is excessive eating. Okay. We notice that a lot of people, when they encounter stress, they tend to be snacking. Yeah, when they're working. So it's very common. Okay. For other people, it could be an opposite. They simply don't want to eat anything. Their appetite is very low. So maybe a lower appetite. This is something that you will notice as well. Maybe in your family member or your colleague, your friends. Emotional outbursts, this person seems to be maybe used to be very easygoing, very peaceful, seldom have any emotional expression, but recently very easily irritable, having this emotional outburst, scolding people, complaining. So all these are changes. Okay, drug use. This is more common in overseas, but in Malaysia here, you see people doing smoking, drinking alcohol. Yeah, some people, they really go for illicit drug use. People say that it helps them to forget about the issue for a while, or just for them to cope with the issue, or they're going through some emotional pain. So it is a coping strategy. Okay, so another thing that I didn't put in this slide include self-harm. You might be surprised that a lot of people, yes, a lot of people, they deal with stress, okay, by harming themselves, okay, cutting themselves, but they didn't plan to kill themselves. They just want to feel the pain when they feel emotionally numb. So all these are behavioral signs that people are having stress. Okay, another thing might include suicide. Of course, suicide is a very severe sign of stress. Okay, usually people who are showing this kind of tendency, they are likely to have depression and or anxiety. Okay. Okay. The last category, cognitive, meaning your mind. People having stress tend to have excessive worries. Okay. If you have worry, that's okay. This is what your brain is designed for, to worry about things, to solve problems, so to ensure you survive in this world. But then if you notice that you have too much of worry, then this is not a good sign. It's a sign of stress. Why? Too much means what? Meaning when you're sleeping, when you're supposed to relax, when you're supposed to enjoy your meal time with your family or you're alone, or when you're supposed to enjoy your game, okay, you notice that your mind keep showing you different kind of concerns about your work, your assignment, your school, or your relationship. Okay, so this is called excessive, too much already. And actually, all the things that you are thinking about or worried about might not have a solution. So excessive worries. Okay, unpleasant images. Okay, this usually happen to people who are having post-traumatic stress disorder, in short PTSD, meaning people who are gone through very traumatic kind of experiences like accident, maybe sexual assault, or maybe some violence, right? After some time, their brain keeps showing them these unpleasant images about the incidents, right, intrusively. It's not that they ask for it, but the brain just keeps showing them flashes of memory. So this is a cognitive sign of stress, telling them that their brain is still trying to cope with the situation, even though it has passed. Difficulty concentration is a very common sign of stress. You notice that you couldn't focus well when you are trying to read an article, or during conversation, people talking about topic A, but your mind thinking about B, C, D. So you get distracted easily. Okay. Then the last one, poor decision making, happen to people that who might make impulsive decision without thinking deep enough. So a lot of time people make decision too quick because of stress. They don't want to think further, or they simply just want to just get it over. Then at the end, the outcome is not good. Okay. Or people, they may not have a right judgment when they feel so bothered about their stress. So all these are the examples of sign of stress. Okay. But for you, you need to ask yourself now, how do you experience stress? Okay. Is it more on physical, more on emotional, behavioral, or cognitive? So while we went through the sign of stress just now, so which kind of symptom or stress that you could relate to? Okay, so I'm not saying that you're either physical, behavioral, cognitive, or emotional. No, it could be a mixture of things. The most important thing here is for you to recognize how do you know that you are feeling stress, so that you know, oh, I'm having this thing already. I need to do something about it. Rather than I don't know what I'm feeling, I don't know, then you just keep doing things and then one day you burn out all of a sudden. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first part, okay, for the talk here. You need to have your understanding about yourself. Okay, how do you define stress? What contribute to your stress? And how do you usually experience stress? Okay, assuming that there's a mind-body connection in this kind of issue. Okay, because when you perceive that you are going through stress, then your body is likely to trigger a series of reactions that contribute to your experience. So when we talk about stress, as if stress is not something positive, in fact, actually, well, there's a reason that we are having this inbuilt mechanism. As I mentioned just now, it is for survival in the ancient time. But now, right, more and more studies are showing us that actually stress is good for our performance. So if you look at this graph here, okay, there's a bell curve here showing us that when the stress level is low, performance will be weak. I think that makes sense to me at least. For example, if you have no goal every day, okay, no one is expecting anything from you, okay, when there's no direction in life, okay, of course you won't be doing anything because you don't have any motivation. So low stress, low performance. But let's say when there's a demand, maybe internally for you, you hope to see yourself to achieve something, or maybe people around you giving you some task to do, then the stress come in because there's a demand. Then maybe you feel okay to do certain thing, so your performance increase, the outcome increase, till you hit the optimal point. So at the optimal point here, the level of stress, expectation, the expected goals are just okay. You are having enough resources to cope with the demand. So at that point, your performance is strongest. You are shining with optimal amount of stress and resources. But let's say when the stress is higher, maybe your lecturer or maybe your boss feel that, oh, this person can do more things and give you more demands, give you more tasks. Then if you don't have enough resources to cope with it, now you are facing stress, strong anxiety about your achievement, about your ability to achieve the target. So when you are being impacted by your strong anxiety, your performance increase. So this is how the bell curve shape in this graph being created. Okay, so in short, your performance increases with physiological or mental arousals, for example, stress, but only up to a point. So it doesn't mean that higher stress the better. No. So because when the stress becomes too high, your performance will be affected because of strong anxiety. Okay, so we have finished the first part of the talk. Now we are coming to the second part. Okay, how do you cope with stress? I would be surprised if you tell me you don't know, because I'm assuming that you have lived more than 20 years already. So 30 years even, or 40 years, 50 years, you must have your own mechanism to deal with your daily hassles and your stress. Okay, or else, right, you won't be listening to this talk. Yeah, you won't be able to survive. So something that I always respect and I always be impressed is everyone have their own mechanism to survive in this world, and they already have their stress management mechanism. So now it's just about the matter of how do you cope. Actually, do you know or not when you're doing, are you aware that actually you are doing this thing for yourself to manage your stress? Okay, generally, stress management is all about, well, adjusting your perception towards the stress. Okay, a very common way people do this is, okay, I don't see it as a threat, I see it as a challenge. So shifting perception. For example, at the same time, also increasing your resources, seeking help, getting more resources, maybe helpers, or maybe financial aid, or I don't know, maybe time. Okay, so it's adjusting these two things here, your perception towards the issue and your resources. So how do we achieve that? There are two approaches here in terms of stress management. The first one is called problem focus. Let's deal with the problem. So using the fight or flight mechanism here, this is for fighting, solving the problem. So the first point here is about problem solving. Problem solving might include people to think about or brainstorming different kind of solution, possible solutions. Then you weigh the pros and cons. Then you choose the most appropriate one for you to approach the issue. So solve the problem. If you are worried about a task that you haven't finished, then let's solve the task. Okay, very straightforward. Another thing is about time management. You might have the ability to solve the problem, but if you're poor in managing your time, then you will still get into trouble because you often feel that you don't have enough time to complete the task. So time management is another problem focused approach for you. Then the other one, obtaining instrumental social support, meaning to get physical person to help you with some issue here. For example, if you're having IT issue, if I'm doing this talk right now, but the laptop broken down, I can't solve it myself. I have to get my colleague from IT department to solve it. So getting instrumental social support. So all this is all problem focus, meaning things that within your control, things that you could solve it. Okay. But you know, in our life here, a lot of things we can solve. Yeah, because things can be so complicated, right? Not that straightforward. We can't simply just say, oh, just solve the problem. No, things are too I don't know how to say it, just complicated. So when you're dealing with all this kind of issue, right, you have to use emotion focus, meaning helping yourself to process the emotion that is created by the stress itself, ensure that you're still surviving while waiting for the right timing to solve the issue in future. So using emotion focus for you to wait and see. Hopefully while you're waiting, you don't kill yourself. Okay. So you see that a lot of examples here for emotion focus. First one, cognitive reappraisal, meaning seeing the issue from another perspective, like what I mentioned just now. Instead of seeing it as a problem, we see it as a challenge. Or some people may have another perspective to look at the issue by talking to other people. So emotional disclosure, you talk about your feelings so that you don't keep all the feelings to yourself. You don't bottle up it. A lot of study already show us that the more we keep to ourselves, then the more harmful effect it could create. Remember mind-body relationship. If your mind that take care of the emotion couldn't have an outlet, your body is going to suffer. Okay. The third one, Okay, journaling. For some people who really doesn't, they don't have a friend, or they don't feel comfortable to disclose about their emotion, then one option for them is to write down in a notebook, or maybe they could type in their laptop. Or for some people, I know they create an account online, okay, not being accessed by anyone, just for them to, type out their thinking, feeling. So it's called journaling. Still an outlet for their emotion. Okay. Then those people who are more religious, okay, they may pray for guidance and strength. Okay, so this is seeking spiritual support, which is effective as well and supported by a lot of scientific studies. Okay, so don't look down on religion. Actually, it serves as a very good repertoire for people to manage their stress. Relaxation, a lot of evidence showing us that when we do relaxation, the stress hormone in our body decrease, okay, which is something that I will focus on in this slide. Okay, distraction or suppression are very common for people who prefer to avoid the issue. Maybe because the issue is too complicated, they don't know how to face, they prefer to avoid. So you may see people so-called playing games, or eating, drinking alcohol, using drugs, all different kind of methods for them to suppress the feeling. Well, I'm saying this not because I am encouraging this kind of approach here. I'm just sharing to let you know that sometimes we do use this kind of approach to help ourselves to manage stress, and we need to be aware of it because some of them may not be healthy. Yeah. We call it avoidance because sometimes when the issue can be solved by using problem-solving approach, but you are not using, you're just avoiding, then of course that's not healthy. Okay, so let's focus on the topic today's topic, relaxation response. Okay, it is the opposite of stress response. As mentioned just now, when we have stress, our heart rate, blood pressure, breathing rate, muscle tension, even the metabolism rate all increase. Okay, why? I already mentioned just now, it is for our body to gather all the energy so that we can fight or we can run away. And another main point to highlight to you here is it occurs involuntarily. Whether you like it or not, it happens. So don't blame yourself for having stress. It is your brain's mechanism to protect you actually. The intention means well. Okay. So whether you like it or not, it will just be triggered. Okay. Just that in this modern society, it's not that helpful. Okay. But for relaxation response, it is the opposite of stress. So metabolism, heart rate, blood pressure, breathing rate, muscle tension all go down, and it occurs voluntarily created through your regular practice. So you can see relaxation is something that we do it ourselves. Our body won't usually, it doesn't relax automatically. Stress, it can happen automatically, but relaxation, it doesn't. So we need to practice it deliberately, okay, purposely do that, and regularly. Yeah, this is another keyword, regular practice. You know, sometimes, right, when I teach people doing the breathing technique, people they only do it when they feel panic. Then when they come back, they tell me that, hey, it's not helpful. When I feeling so stressed, so nervous, right? I did your technique, okay, but then I felt nothing. Of course, relaxation is a skill. Skill is not a medication kind of thing. If you're taking medication, okay, you feel the effect almost immediately. You feel more calm. But then if you are using a technique to help you coping with stress response, it's like swimming. You won't expect yourself to swim well for the first time, right? You have to practice. So regular practice is important. Once your body is used to it, then you'll be able to see the effect sooner. Okay, so just a recap here. If you want to feel relaxed, you need to use the relaxation technique to shift from a stress response to relaxation response. Okay, so look at the comic here. I'm learning how to relax, doctor, but I want to relax better and faster. I want to be on the cutting edge of relaxation. So, as you can tell, this is a total opposite attitude of relaxation. Okay, relax better, faster. No, relaxation only comes to you when you allow yourself to slow down. Yeah, not to say relax faster. Yeah, very contradictory. Okay, I'm finally learning how to relax. Okay, unfortunately, relaxation makes me tense. Okay, this happens when you are forcing yourself to relax. Just like at night, if you force yourself to fall asleep, what happened? You couldn't fall asleep. So when you're doing the relaxation, don't force. Yeah, just allow it to occur naturally. Then you'll be more likely to relax. Okay, so remember these 2 points here. Okay, have to slow down and allow it to happen naturally. There are different ways to elicit relaxation, including breathing technique, visual imagery that allow you to think about a comforting image in your mind. Autogenic training is something like self-hypnosis by repeating certain phrases like, for example, my leg is relaxed, my arm is relaxed, just repeating it. It's called autogenic training. Progressive muscle relaxation for people that who don't like sitting still there. So if they want to do something physically, then it will be best for them. Mindfulness practice is a big topic, I would say. It takes a whole module, hours of training to talk about mindfulness, to cover it appropriately. But I can just share with you some key points here about mindfulness. It's all about purposely pay attention to certain thing which is happening in the here and now moment and without judgment. Okay, so it's like taking a neutral stance, okay, at what you are seeing here or what you're experiencing here. Okay, what I want to introduce you today, okay, it's called mindful breathing. So it is an integration between breathing technique and mindfulness skill here. So now let's practice. I don't think it works out if I simply just tell you what is mindful breathing. It's best for you to experience it yourself. So again, allow yourself to sit in a relaxing manner. Make sure that you are comfortable. Okay, again, feel free to close your eyes if you would like to. Close your eyes and breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth, according to your own pace. Very good. Notice the movement of the air going through your nostril, going through your throat, then into your body. When you breathe out, feel the warmth of the air that comes out from your mouth and the relaxation on your shoulders. Then repeat. Breathing in, feel the texture of the air, feel the movement of the air. Breathing out, again, feel how the air comes out of your mouth. Then repeat. If there's any thought crossing your mind at this moment, that's okay, that's normal. Allow yourself to focus back on your breath when you catch yourself being distracted. Continue breathing in and out. Nothing else for you to do at this moment. Nothing for you to solve or think about. Simply allow yourself to relax. Very good. Breathing in and out. Feeling the relaxation, the calmness within you and feel in control. Very good. Continue doing this. Continue feeling the calmness, allowing yourself to rest for a while. And keep noticing that your shoulders get much more relaxed every time you breathe out. Very good. Lastly, take a deep breath through your nose. Hold 1, 2, breathing out through your mouth slowly. While noticing your shoulders get more and more relaxed. Now you may open your eyes, feeling more alert, feeling much more relaxed, hopefully. Okay. So this is mindful breathing. The key things here is not about how you breathe in and out. It's not about the deep breathing or what. If you notice, it's all about where your attention is. Always focus on your breath whenever you get distracted by your worries or your other thinking. Okay. By repeating the procedures, breathing in and out, breathing in and out. Okay, so this is a very basic, but it's a foundation technique for a lot of people who want to learn how to relax. Even if you are having a very traumatic experiences that contribute to your high anxiety, you still start from learning this technique. It is a foundation because other advanced kind of technique, they are built up based on this kind of mindful technique here. Okay, so it's my first time giving the talk for you guys here, so I don't plan to give anything at once, but I plan to give you this kind of foundation technique so that it will be easier for you to learn other advanced technique in future with this technique. So with this kind of skill here, you can go anywhere. Okay, so that's all for mindful breathing. For those who doesn't like to sit there and just breathe in and out, that's okay, yeah, because we all know that people have their own preference. Then you may consider this progressive muscle relaxation. In short, we call it PMR, okay, which involve making your muscles tense for about 15 seconds. So let's say if you want to push your hands upward like this, okay, you just stand there and do this. Make sure that you feel the stretch, okay, in your body, in your muscle. Then you hold for 15 seconds, counting 1 to 15, then you let go. Then you do 2 to 3 sets. Okay, so this is how you do the different posture here. Clench your fists, push your arms behind your shoulders, shrug your shoulders, pushing your hands upward, and so on. All these are PMR technique. Okay, other people, they also can do stretches. If you Google, you can just Google simple stretches. You can find a lot of ideas, simple ideas for you to stretch your muscle, which is to address your muscle tension issue, one of the sign of stress. Okay, so this for physical relaxation. But I would advise everyone here to be careful if you have any physical issue or any pain issue. Okay, you better consult your doctor first or your physiotherapist, okay, before you do this PMR or this muscle relaxation to ensure that you don't get injury because of this technique. Okay, so don't come back to me to complain about, oh, I get into issue or I injured myself while doing this PMR. No, if you know that your body is vulnerable, make sure you get a green light from your physician or your physiotherapist before doing this. Okay, so coming to the last part of today's talk, okay, a discussion. When I teach people technique, I don't assume that the technique will work. because everyone is so different, and because they have their own differences, they have their preference as well. So you gotta ask yourself, how do you feel after you do the techniques? Yeah, even though I say that, mindful breathing is helpful, important, it's a foundation, and I also talk about MAHSA relaxation, but you need to ask yourself, how do you feel when you're doing the technique? Is it a technique for you? If yes, very good. But if no, don't forget we have a series of other techniques for you to consider. So yeah, you have to ask yourself whether it is helpful or not. Don't just do for the self-doing. Don't do because others are doing. You have to ask yourself first. And do you find the technique helpful? If it is helpful, how is it helpful? For muscle relaxation, maybe you feel the muscle being less tense. Maybe for mindful breathing, you find that your focus is better after doing it regularly. If not helpful, what does it mean? I don't know. Is it because you're bothered by other issue? Yeah. Is it because you find it very hard to focus? Okay, so you gotta clarify it yourself. Then only you can focus on the right issue and resolve it for you to relax. How often should we practice? Okay, as mentioned just now, it's not a medication. I'm not expecting people to do this maybe like before meal, after meal, 3 times a day. No, it's not like that. It is a skill. That means when you have time, just do it. There's no side effect for overdoing it. Okay. For myself, how often do I practice? Whenever I bring patient from the waiting area to my room, that 10-second walk, I won't talk to my patient. I just silently practice my mindful breathing. This is how I steal time to do my relaxation. Or maybe while driving at the traffic light, I will practice it. Or while waiting for a lift, I got time, I will practice also. Just do this silently. No one asks you to breathe in and out in a very strong manner, like no one want to know that. For you, just silently do your mindful breathing. That will be simple enough. I would say, yeah, subtle enough so that you don't feel embarrassed or what when you're doing that. So the things that I'm teaching here, I hope it is practical, convenient enough for you to do it from time to time. How do we integrate the techniques in our daily life, as mentioned just now? When you're walking, when you're waiting, or even while you are sleeping, before you sleep. So, or maybe when you're watching video, there's a commercial here in YouTube we don't like, but we can do the breathing technique while waiting for the 5 seconds. So, yeah, depending on how creative you are to practice it, I only know that because of mind-body connection, if you are doing this thing, your mind being more relaxed, then physically your stress hormone decrease, then your health will be benefit. This is how I see it. Okay, I think this is just a conclusion here. Your response to stress determines the impact of stress on your health. So, yes, everyone feels stressed. You need to ask yourself, what do you want to do about it? Because your response determines the impact. Whether you strive through it, you develop a new self skill for stress management, or you want to do something that is detrimental to your health, that's up to you. So that's about it for my talk here. Thank you very much. Moving on, we shall do our Q&A. Okay. I can't hear you, Dr. Chiu.
Okay, that was a very interesting talk given by Mr. Yap, and your voice is so calm. And this is a question out of the topic, but how do you talk this calm?
Practice and practice regularly. Okay, let's say if you have been doing this kind of technique every day, every day I get to practice with my patient. So this is how you can train yourself. But this is a byproduct, the voice itself. The main thing is if your brain system is calm enough with an appropriate amount of stress hormone there. I can't say low stress hormone because that means I wouldn't be motivated. But the right kind of stress hormone there, you'll be noticing that your mental status, your heart, all in a peaceful status. Maybe then your voice will be more calm and peaceful. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
Any questions you can put into comment. Okay, we will address that as well. And also one question, like just now you're talking about the distractions and suppressions to avoid a certain stress. And I found that nowadays a lot of people like subconsciously going into certain form of avoidance of a certain stress. It may not be the most healthy way of dealing with stress, but I want to know that how do we identify that we are actually avoiding a certain stress that.
Okay. That's why in the beginning of the talk, I already mentioned the self-understanding is important. You need to understand yourself well. You need to pay attention to what you are doing from time to time, including what you're thinking and how you're feeling. While saying this, I'm not expecting everyone could immediately do that. I am talking about a direction here. If you're keen, anytime you can just simply ask yourself, hey, what am I doing right now? What am I thinking? How am I feeling? Just for your self-checking in purpose. While you're doing this, then maybe you notice that, hey, I'm playing games right now. But at the same time, I know at the back of my mind, I'm thinking about my assignment. Yeah. That I'm
Mm,
owning. Then you know that actually assignment is something that you could simply resolve, right? By spending some time on it to work on it. So then I would say, okay, your your game here is an avoidance strategy. Okay. But some people might argue with me saying that no, I'm just trying to regulate my stress here. Okay, that's up to you because all these experiences things are so individual. I wouldn't want to spend my time to argue, but I just simply want to point out this practice. We call it mindfulness practice to check with yourself from time to time, your thinking, feeling, and behavior, so
mm.
that you know what's going on here. Then you yourself decide, is it an avoidance or is it just a stress regulation strategy? Okay.
I see. That's interesting because like a lot of people are not actually aware of what they are doing now currently. That leads to a lot of problems.
Yeah, they thought they know.
Yeah, we all think that we know, but actually we don't. Is there any things that we can help us keep track of what we are doing? Some form of practices you may recommend?
Well, if you really are interested in all these things, right, you may do your own record actually, your own thought record. For example, having a table which include the date and time, situation, your thinking, your feeling, your behavior. I mean, it's like a scientist ready for yourself. So it's like a scientist to record whatever that's happening. But I don't expect people to do this like every hour like that. Usually you do this when you feel that something is not that right. For example, you're feeling a bit unsettled at that
Mm,
moment, you don't know why, but after you do this record, maybe you see something, yeah, from the pattern itself. But you know, the very fun thing is about doing this record is after doing this for about 1 or 2 weeks, you see a series of record there, right? You will
mm.
find a pattern of yourself. Yeah, you see your
Oh,
tendency in terms of your thinking, your behavior, your feeling. You see something very interesting there. Yeah. So it depends on whether you are keen on studying yourself or not lah.
mm,
So you notice that the advice I'm giving here, right, are like very troublesome technique, right? I have to jot down, I have to ask question.
mm,
I don't have any other better way to do it because this is the proper way, and this is how careful you want to understand about yourself. If you yourself is the most important person to you in this world, maybe well, other than your lover, your family, okay, or your friend, your pet, right? Then I believe that you deserve some time to do this for yourself.
mm. True. We should love ourselves.
Yeah, love ourselves doesn't mean that we indulge in the kind of good thing. We also indulge in the self-understanding practice for ourselves.
Right, thank you. I think that's about time now. It's been 1 hour now. So we thank you so much for our honored guest, Mr. Yap Chee Khong. And if you are interested in our foundation program, you can keep contact with us, and so that you can get into the health science MBBS degree, and then before you go to your own future career itself. And if there's any more inquiries, you can put in the chat, and then we will address that. And thank you so much for Mr. Yap Chee Khong to be here with us. It's really a great honor to invite you as our invited speaker. And thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.